You're listening to the Visionary Lifestyle Podcast, the show that's dedicated to raising consciousness and empowering you to activate your highest potential. I'm your host, Magda Freedom Rod. Greetings from Morocco, Rainbow Warriors. Today's guests are Bianca and Michael Alexander. This conscious power couple is producing conscious media in the form of a fantastic TV show called Conscious Living TV. A labor of love, they launched their positive news TV show on Earth Day 2007 after conceiving the idea over their honeymoon in Asia. Their mission is to raise the vibration of the planet, one person at a time, through inspiring television. The show now airs in 90-plus broadcast TV markets across the United States and internationally via Smart TV and AolOn. I met Bianca and Michael about 10 years ago when I had my visionary boutique in Los Angeles. We hung out in the same circles, and I remember being so impressed with what they were creating. And I fell in love with both of their beautiful souls, too. It was a real treat to meet them again at the New Earth Festival in Bali, where we were both speaking. Take a listen to this inspiring interview about what it means to live consciously, and make sure to check out their show for loads of uplifting and entertaining content. As usual, find the links to everything in the show notes on my website at visionary-lifestyle.com/podcast. While you're there, if you feel called to support the show, please click through to my Patreon page and sign up to make a small monthly donation that will go to help cover my out-of-pocket expenses for this podcast. I don't take any advertising dollars from anyone because I want the show to be supported by generous donations from inspired rainbow warriors like yourself who are benefiting from this content. And if you haven't checked out my Visionary Lifestyle and Podcast Facebook page, go there to find lots of free videos and inspiring content to keep you empowered between shows. And to see my behind-the-scenes adventures and travels, follow me on Instagram at visionary_lifestyle_guide. And of course, I'm on Instagram at Visionary Lifestyle Podcast as well. If you gain anything from these episodes, please share it with your friends and family so they too can benefit. And now, enjoy the show. Namaste. Bianca and Michael Alexander, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Magda. Good to see you here in Bali.
Thank you.
It's great to see you guys again.
Yes.
We go way back, but we haven't seen each other for a long time.
Way back to the west side of California.
Yeah.
West side.
Now it's Balifornia.
Yeah, Balifornia.
Yeah, hashtag Balifornia.
Hashtag Bollywood.
That too. Yeah, Bali's super activated. It's cool to see how much of the tribe is here. Yeah, it's a hot spot.
Yeah, one of those beautiful, powerful vortexes that are in the world, where healers come to heal, to be healed. Yeah. It's a magical place.
Light workers.
And it's one of the things that I think people come because Bali brings up all of your issues, all of your energy, all of your darkness. There's so much light and dark here, and the indigenous people worship both the light and the dark. They pray to the ancestors, both the light and the dark. And so in that space, it really forces us to confront those parts of ourselves that outside of this vortex energy remain hidden, sometimes from ourselves. And so when that energy comes up and it emerges, it can be interesting how we respond to that, how we react to that. Because at the end of the day, Divine Mother's in charge. That's something we've learned from 12 years of producing a television show.
Indeed.
Lots of ideas about outcomes, and the universe will control.
Right. Of course. Yeah, I'm really appreciating the culture here and the sacredness, and just witnessing all the offerings that are continuously happening. It just the spirit here is just rich and potent and palpable.
It is. It's a wonderful place to be. Divine Mother is everywhere. As one of our favorite chants says, 1,000 Vedas do declare Divine Mother everywhere. And you certainly feel it here. And also the manifestation is much faster here. So you
Noticing
feel
that.
something and it happens. You think about somebody and then they're in your face in that moment. You have a negative thought and then you begin to manifest it. So it's definitely, we're here in part on a spiritual sabbatical, but we say we're putting the battle back in spiritual sabbatical.
You're like a couple of ninjas right now. I love this. So 12 years, you guys have been doing Conscious Living TV for 12 years.
Yes, well, the show was conceived on our honeymoon here in Bali on a beach.
What?
12 years ago. What?
Full circle.
Yes,
full circle.
yes, yeah.
Wow, and here we are. Okay.
Yeah, and so we, it took a while in gestation, about 2 years, and we began producing it in 2006. And so here we are 11 years later.
And the interesting thing is that we began producing it in Sedona, Arizona, which is another magical, powerful, mystical vortex kind of place, as many people know. That's where we launched our first episode. After taking a sabbatical from Los Angeles, which is where we met, got into yoga, found our guru, went vegetarian, started meditating, and then left LA after, career in the entertainment industry to create something that would disrupt the traditional mainstream media industry. And to do that, you have to kind of, we called it unplugging from the matrix, unplugging from the mainstream consciousness that tells us to be afraid, that tells us that we need to be unhealthy, that tells us that race matters, that tells us that we're separate, that tells us that there's not enough, that somehow the universe isn't taking care of us. You have to unplug from those paradigms, from those constructs. And from us, from our perspective, it's about unplugging from watching mainstream media and voting with your consciousness on the thoughts, the people, the energy, the media you consume, the platforms that you follow, the Instagram that you follow. All of that goes into the subconscious and in the conscious, and it affects you. So making that choice for us, we had to first unplug ourselves from it to be able to create something, and doing it in beautiful, magical, mystical places that sort of give you that extra sort of Shakti energy to be able to move forward and really move past your own demons, your own limitations, and sort of your own constructs that society places on you to say, no, I'm going to follow the truth. And that is, I think, where being a spiritual warrior, spiritual ninja becomes so important, whether it's through yoga, meditation, the food you eat, having those practices that keep your vibration at a certain level to be able to have the clarity to pierce through anything that is not in integrity. And that's what allows you to move forward. And it's a path that clears your way to, follow the universe. I mean, it's a balance. It's a dance for sure. But it's been definitely a labor of love and quite a journey, both inside and out. Yeah.
Amen. Hallelujah to all of that. You have something to add,
Amen.
Michael?
That's it. Can I get a witness? Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. So I mean, you just touched on all the things that I'm talking about here on the show. It's so perfect. It's yoga, it's meditation, it's conscious eating. So let's get into the food piece a little bit. Like you mentioned vegetarianism. Why is that important?
Well, we first went vegetarian about 12 or 13 years ago. And Bianca went really because she began to find her body, as she became aware, it just wasn't responding to meat and to fish and things like that. And so for me, I went vegetarian about a year later because I wanted to stop ingesting death. And I said, okay, I'm here to be a Prince of Peace. I'm here to be somebody who brings peace to the world, and yet if I'm ingesting death, if I'm ingesting pain and suffering on a daily basis, that's my vibration. And so we began that journey with vegetarianism, and we began to explore that and really dig into that. And we were vegetarian for about 5 or 6 years, and then we went vegan about 7 years ago. And so 6 or 7 years ago. And so, from our perspective, and now we eat mostly raw. I became a raw chef in the process, and a lot of our shows have raw vegan recipes that I do. Yes.
delicious raw
She's a
vegan
good, yes. She's got a refined palate, and she's not afraid to share her opinions, which you need to take your game to the next level.
I'm an amateur food critic in my own mind.
What a great partnership, though.
Less salt.
Yeah, you get to test the recipes, and she gets to give you the feedback, and together you're the perfect couple. Yeah. I love this. Yeah. So, why take the vegan route? I mean, why take it to that next level? What is it about the dairy and the eggs that is not in harmony with what you're trying to do here on the planet?
Well, I think for us, the first thing was that we did a 30-day raw food detox. So when we were in Chicago, there's a sort of a raw food vegan, one of the elders who did a 30-day raw detox, and Bianca did it. She was going to do a story on it, and came home one night after the first night. Her name is Karen Calabrese, and she wrote a book, and just really an amazing woman, and came home in tears. She had bags of food, and she was literally crying like, I was just going to do a story, and now I think I have to do it, and oh my God, and she was just freaking out.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I thought I was just going to go to the orientation and take some notes and write a little story. Wow, look at these people doing a 30-day raw vegan detox. Isn't that cool? This is inspiring. Maybe one day I'll consider it, but certainly not today. And I came home literally with the entire kit. And it was like my soul was speaking to me, because some of the symptoms that she was talking about in terms of being bloated and some of the sort of moodiness and the hormones and, all these different sort of emotional and psychological, sort of having constipation and like different stomach issues, and you eat and you feel like a little tummy ache every time you eat. I thought that everybody got a tummy ache every time they ate. So ever since I was a little kid, and I was always lactose intolerant, and not just because I'm African American, but because it's the food that baby calves eat from cows. Like, I'm human. Why am I drinking milk from an animal that's being pumped with tons of hormones and antibiotics and steroids? It's like, no wonder we're obese. No wonder the African American community is suffering at a disproportionate rate from diabetes and stroke and all these other sort of lifestyle diseases. My dad, we lost him last year to a stroke, healthy man, because he wasn't willing to change his diet. Very simple. So this for me has been really a journey of, in many aspects, sort of stripping away some of the cultural layers. This is part of sort of the mainstream societal paradigm of this is what we eat, this is what we do, this is who we marry, this is how we behave, this is what we watch on television, this is what we consume, this is how we treat each other. And it's what people call sort of a normalization of a deviation. There's a deviation that happens that's actually out of alignment with who we're here to be as spiritual beings having a physical experience. And then we do it once, and then we do it again and again and again until we forget that it's actually out of alignment, and it becomes the norm. And so really, I think our journey has been about bringing ourselves back into alignment, back into the fold, back into source, back into spirit through all of these practices. And going vegan for us, I mean, the first thing that I tell people when they say going vegan, oh God, I can't give up cheese, forget meat, I can't give up cheese, I can't give up eggs. Give yourself 10 days, 30 days to feel what your body feels like without that toxin in your system. Just give it a chance. Treat your life as a master experiment. Experiment and find out. Just know what it feels like not to have it in your body. Because when I felt that, everything shifted. The bloating was gone. The mucus was gone. The headaches were gone. The clarity started to come. I felt smarter. My vision got sharper. I mean, it was just my meditations deeper, more profound, more peaceful. I mean, it was like so many things just in 30 days of giving up cheese and dairy. And there's tons of vegan, delicious options, many more now than there were 7 years ago. So it's both a spiritual practice, it's an environmental commitment as well. When you think about all the methane gas, forget the carbon dioxide. We've all seen Cowspiracy. If you haven't, go see it. It breaks it down.
That's
if you're an environmentalist and you're still
anyway.
eating meat and dairy, you need to watch Cowspiracy and get in alignment with your beliefs and your principles. And part of it means letting go of feeding the body, letting go of your personal desires, and actually stepping into more health and stepping into the resources that could be used in much, much more productive ways than watering cattle and feeding cattle and using land that could be feeding the hungry people around the world. Just because you want to eat a hamburger, just because you need a slice of cheddar cheese, they got vegan cheddar cheese, baby. Wake up. Go to the supermarket.
Go over to Sage, Bali, and have their kitchery burger. It's the answer. It can save the world. I keep saying it's the most delicious thing. I don't know any meat eater who wouldn't enjoy it. It's like switch the hamburger for a hemp burger, save the world. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm preaching in conscious eating.
Amen.
Exactly.
Speaking the truth right along with me. Thank you.
And fact of the matter is that, as a foodie, I'm a foodie. My mother didn't give me breast milk. She gave me melted brie as a child. I loved cheese. I ate so much cheese, San Francisco native. It was just like, it was part of, it coursed through my veins. But once I felt my body without the dairy, I became smarter. Dairy makes you dumb, period. It did. At least that's my circumstance. It made me dumb. It made me less smart. It made me slower to respond and slower to deal with life. And that's and my meditations. It slows you down. And my meditations were a fraction of what they are now. Now that I don't ingest that, and so that's just the sort of metaphysical element, and then there's the nutritional element. We both, as part of this journey, became certified plant-based nutritionists. And so through T. Colin Campbell, who wrote The China Study, which if you ever read any book other than Autobiography of a Yogi, read The China Study, because it'll knock your socks off. But
Cornell University has the certification program, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was phenomenal. But that's, at the end of the day, what is causing the issues with diabetes, with heart disease, with cancer, with stroke, and you know this, but is casein. Is casein, which is animal protein, and it's in animals, and it's in dairy.
Right, and it's addictive. And that's why everybody's literally addicted to cheese. They're like, I'm addicted to cheese. Yes, you are, and yes, you can detox from it. 21 days creates a new habit. Get it out of your system for a good 21 days. Find healthy alternatives that are satisfying to you, and change your life. Change the world while you're at it.
Yeah, well, one of the things I say when people sort of joke, I can never give up dairy, it's like, you need to take it seriously. The way that the body metabolizes, you know this, the dairy, the casein, is the same way that it metabolizes in the brain opioids. Prince, my favorite artist of all time, died from an opioid addiction. It is not a joke. You have to treat it like an addiction.
The
you
struggle
have to treat
is real.
Like it's
real. The struggle is real.
It's
and
real.
The good news is that there are solutions, and there are alternatives, and there's just more coming onto the market every single day because people are waking up to this. The demand is increasing. The options are increasing. And I love how you said earlier that when you got onto the raw vegan train, you felt better than you realized you could feel. You thought it was normal, like you were normalizing all these symptoms that you were having. And I love when people start on this conscious eating path, that they start to feel better than they realized they could ever feel. They didn't realize what true health and vitality could feel like in their body.
Yes, exactly. I mean, and that's a key part of conscious living, is just being able to feel your body, to be able to feel the emotions that you're having. I think a lot of us in this world, a lot of the problems in the world are just a function of running from feelings, running from pain and the idea of pain. There's something so powerful, and this is why we sit, why we meditate. We sit with what's coming up, and often it's painful. A lot of people, instead of sitting with it and being with it, they reach for a beer. They reach for a cigarette. They reach for some marijuana.
Crutch of
They
choice.
reach for cheese. They reach for sex. They reach for anger. They reach for whatever it is.
Television.
Spending money unnecessarily, gambling, whatever it is. And so if we just give ourselves a space to just be with whatever it is and witness it. I mean, I tell people, it's like, if you're scared of the boogeyman, then instead of running from the boogeyman, turn around, look at the boogeyman, and look in his eyes and tell me what color his eyes are. If you can do that, he'll go away. What color are his eyes? Look at him. Find out what he is, what he wants. He might have some information, some really powerful information for your transformation, your liberation, your consciousness, your evolution. So that's a big piece of it when you begin. And this is, I think, is the withdrawal journey we're talking about. As you begin to sort of let go of some of those things, we go on these detoxes, and we've begun teaching detox classes as well, just because people want to know, how do you do this? A 10-day detox. We wrote a book, The Conscious Living 10-Day Detox. And one of the key steps is recognizing there will be a process of withdrawal. There will be a process where challenging emotions come up, because all of those emotions that have been suppressed through poor eating choices, through poor lifestyle choices, are going to come up as soon as you begin to switch into a higher vibrating path. And that's part of what we call the healing crisis. The way out is the way through. And becoming stronger and more courageous at being able to confront what that is, and realize that you're more dangerous than danger. You're more dangerous than whatever the boogeyman is. And being willing to sort of ride out that process and get to the other side. And there is another side, and I think a lot of people are too terrified to go through the withdrawal process because they're afraid of their own pain. But if you can embrace your pain, you realize, oh my God.
Yeah, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There's more than this. People get stuck in the pain, which is suffering, versus moving through it and getting to the other side of healing.
Yeah, where liberation is. Freedom. You had something to add to that?
Oh yes, I could keep going for hours on this topic.
Conscious living, bring
yes.
it on.
Yeah, well, I mean, the saying is, if you're walking through hell, don't stop.
Keep going.
Keep going. And you won't know. And it just takes stepping into it and realizing, okay, you don't know what you don't know till you find out you didn't know it. So if you do eat meat, if you do eat dairy, if you don't think you can do it, then you need to do it. Because there is a universe of possibility on the other side. And you mentioned it earlier, there's so many great cheeses out on the marketplace. Tree Line is phenomenal. There's some others that I forget. And I came to Bali to do chow cheese is good. To do a 30-day raw chef training with Sayuri, who's a Japanese chef who has, to me, the best food in Bali.
Yeah, I just ate there a couple days ago.
Yes, awesome food.
Yum.
And, written four cookbooks, phenomenal chef. But one of the things we learned how to do was make raw bread, raw vegan bread, and raw vegan cheese. And the whole core 2 weeks was worth it to me, but it's like when I'm sitting there eating that beautiful piece of moist bread with that piece of cashew fermented cheese that tastes just like brie, but yet my consciousness doesn't dip. I don't have to hawk, after and spit after. You're free.
Yeah.
You're free. All the tastes that you want are possible. So
you're not sucking up the resources of the planet, like to nourish yourself or to feed yourself. It's even, I would say, cow cheese and the yeast, the traditional yeast bread, the white bread, it's certainly not nourishing, right? So these foods that you're talking about are actually nourishing you, body, mind, and spirit, and not raping the planet in the process. What's not to love? It's self-love, it's animal love, and it's planet love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And for those of you listening who think going vegan seems so impossible and you're not ready to take that step, there's no judgment here. You know, a lot of times vegans, when people find out that we're vegan, it becomes like the entire conversation, particularly at the dinner table. And then the entire meal, I have to sit there and sort of basically teach it, vegan 101, which is okay, because it brings up a lot for people. Our souls on a soul vibrational cellular level, we know what is in our highest ingredients and what isn't. But I also offer that, there's no judgment. If people aren't ready to take that step, part of what our show, what our platform is about is saying, okay, for some people it's food and it's going vegetarian or going vegan. For other people, they're never going to do that. They're never going to stop drinking. They're never going to stop smoking. But ethical fashion might be the thing that turns them on and begins to help them take that next step down the continuum, because they want to look good in their clothes, but they want to make sure that it's fair trade and made with, ethical fabrics and renewable materials with, hand dyed with vegetable dyes, non-toxic. And, and so for them, that's their first step that they can really rally behind. And so we offer that type of content, and then maybe they'll see, oh, there's a little vegan recipe. Maybe I'll try that. Those cookies, those brownies look really good. I think I might try them. And for people who aren't into that, okay, maybe it's green building and just traveling the world, staying in beautiful, eco-friendly, luxurious accommodations. Who doesn't want to travel? Okay, maybe that's your continuum point. So we just try to offer the variety of experiences and meet people where they are, no judgment. Our path, we are definitely, very disciplined. Mastery and spiritual mastery is a part of our lineage. It's why we got married. It's how we got married. We got married on the Gandhi lawn on October 2nd, which is Gandhi's birthday of the Self-Realization Fellowship, Lake Shrine.
Beautiful.
And our wonderful, wonderful master, our guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, founder of the Self-Realization Fellowship, brought yoga to the West in 1920, is the reason we're together. It's the mission, the foundation of the work that we're doing, which is to raise the vibration of the planet through media, to raise the consciousness of the planet through inspiring stories. So when you turn on your TV, you can feel that there's hope and you can be empowered and take responsibility and take action for the things that will make your life a better life and other people's lives a better life. So for us, certainly our path is definitely more stringent than most people, would think. But we still have a lot of fun. We have a good time. We laugh a lot. We don't take ourselves too seriously. And we embrace wherever anyone is on that path, on that journey, because
Yeah.
we started somewhere. You know,
Yeah.
I grew up eating McDonald's and Wendy's. That was
Yeah.
the place I wanted to go on my birthday.
15 years ago, I was living on fast food, and look at us now. Look at this conversation now.
So it's okay.
You know, and it can happen even faster for people. And you know, we're planting seeds of awareness for people, and definitely not coming from a place of judgment, but just, you know, inspired by what we've learned and wanting to help others, you know, expand their own consciousness, right, and find their way to true happiness and health and vibrancy. And one of the things that I am always striving to do is help people activate their highest potential so that they can share the gifts that they came here to give. And my favorite tools for this are yoga, meditation, and conscious eating. I mean, we're on the same page here, right? So yoga is the umbrella that everything falls under, like it's all yoga, right? And the conscious eating is yoga. It's like the yoga of food, right? Meditation is one of the limbs of yoga. So it's yoga, it really is the path, but I try not to put it only under yoga because sometimes people have resistance, and I also try not to use the word vegan too much because it does put up walls. It divides people. People go, that's not me, right? That's not my path. And yes, it is about meeting people where they're at and just take what works and leave the rest. You know, what part of this conversation is resonating with you? Like, think about it for the people listening. You know, when you sleep tonight, or next person you talk to, or tomorrow, which parts of this conversation are staying with you? Which parts are turning over in your mind? Follow that. Maybe take a step towards that. Maybe, you know, do a Google search about that. You know, just move in the direction of what's calling your soul forward.
Exactly. And you don't know what is possible. You know, before I began eating raw and eating vegan, I used to drink coffee. I don't drink coffee anymore. Mm-hmm. I do all-nighters on a regular basis, and I still don't drink any caffeine. I may have some green tea in the morning after an all-nighter, and it's like that vitality. There's so much energy. There's so much vitality. There's so much life force.
Yeah, prana.
When I'm not, and because my body's not trying to process meat and dairy and or negative stuff. I'm not watching the news. I'm not watching CNN. Most times I'm not watching my Facebook feed because Facebook and Instagram in many instances depress me. Because I'm looking at everybody's here. Right. This is my life. This is my ideal moment, and it's not.
Yeah.
Reality is a lot more complex than that. And the path that you mentioned, meditation is the path because it's that way to tap into the well of ever new joy, and from that place there's all things are possible, and that is the seed level of our media empire and our media business. We're doing our stumbling best after 10 years of producing our show and hundreds of stories, soon to be thousands of stories. Right. We're doing our stumbling best to live the path of how does one liberate in this lifetime, as taught by the sages, as taught by the masters, as taught by the saints. And they said, hey, if you do this, you can liberate. But the media says, no, you can't liberate, but you can get a beautiful coat for $3,000, or you can get a really nice TV. So if you just keep working that job that you hate, that's sucking you, and suck down that meat like everybody else so you can fit in and not feel weird, and then drink alcohol so you don't have to feel so bad.
And take some Prozac for dessert.
Right.
Yeah.
And then take a Ambien to go to sleep.
There's another way.
Right.
There's another way. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. And so you guys have hundreds of episodes out there that people can tune
Thousands
in.
of stories. Yes.
Thousands of stories. Hundreds of episodes. People can tune into the conscious media that you're creating and get nuggets of wisdom. And,
sure.
Yeah.
And laugh. And laugh and have a good time and be entertained and see, wow, these guys are goofy or weird, or Bianca looks really good in that dress, or whatever it is. But it's like, this is our stumbling best, and it's fun, and it's and what we hope to do and what we strive to do is to serve Divine Mother, to serve all living things, and to show that, hey, it's better on the other side. It is.
The grass is greener.
It is greener, and sometimes it's scary, and sometimes it's painful, but that's life. Welcome to life, kid.
It's perfect. It's evolution. It's growth. And sometimes, birth, sometimes rebirth, sometimes evolution, is bloody and messy and painful.
That's right.
But look at what comes out. Like if you just think about, a woman giving birth,
a
right?
New life.
A new life, and such beauty and love that you didn't even realize was possible until that moment arrives.
That's it. And that's exactly what conscious living and conscious eating is all about. It's something that we are blessed to be able to be on this planet alive this lifetime at this time of convergence of new media and new consciousness and
Awakening.
sustainability and spirituality spirituality and vegan cuisine and yoga on every corner and, people who are ready for change. So this is the time. This is it. We just have to take one step forward and the universe will take 10 for us on our behalf. So enjoy the journey.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's amazing to reconnect with you beautiful souls here in Bali. I know it's been years since I've seen you, and we're doing it. We're all evolving and we're all on our path, and look at how we're converging again, and being part of the awakening on planet Earth. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for your service to the world. Thank you for shining your beautiful bright lights like you do.
Thank you. And you can watch the show if you are not in one of those 75 plus broadcast markets in the U.S. on TV at consciouslivingtv.com. Love to hear from you guys.
Perfect.
Thanks, Magda.
Namaste.
So good to see you. Namaste.
Thank you, sister.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Woo! Thanks so much for answering the call to be here today. I'm so glad you're part of our tribe of activated rainbow warriors. If you found the show in any way empowering or inspiring, I would be so grateful if you would share the show on social media or with friends and family that you think would benefit from these conversations. And also, rate and review the show in iTunes. This is really the very best way to help support the show and help us get noticed by others who are looking for the sort of content that we're sharing. Now notice there are no outside ads playing here. That's because the show is supported by you, the listener. You can become a patron of the show with a small monthly donation by checking out the perks on our Patreon page at patreon.com/visionary lifestyle and signing up there. There's also a one-time donation button on the podcast page of the website if that suits you better. And just so you know, your donations help to cover the necessary out-of-pocket monthly expenses to produce the show and will also help us grow so we can inspire and educate even more people. And hey tribe, I'd love to hear from you. Visit me at visionary-lifestyle.com and please tell me your comments and questions. I really look forward to connecting with you. I love you. Namaste. Today's episode is brought to you by the Conscious Eating 101 e-course. This is a 6-week online course aimed at empowering you to make food choices that are in alignment with your values. The program is based on ahimsa, also known as non-harm, and helps you make every bite that you take an expression of love, self-love, animal love, and planet love. The course offers 15 lessons and 20 nutritious and delicious recipes and is offered over 6 weeks that you can do at your own pace. It includes lessons like plant-based nutrition, protein, dairy alternatives, the story on sugar, GMOs, label reading, and many more. If you're looking to increase your health and happiness, balance your weight, reduce your footprint on the planet, and align your food choices with your values, or are interested in being part of the solution to huge world problems like climate change, rainforest destruction, and world hunger, then this is the course for you. If this speaks to you, please check out consciouseating101.com today.